The Pioneer Museum has been in existence since 1956 and reflects the history of Martin County. We are excited to share with you some of the highlights of what we have to offer. For more information, visit our website.
Hey Jim, I want you to get in this iron lung.
Yep, you're the boss.
You got that right. Hold up just a minute. Maybe not a good idea. You might not fit very well.
Yeah.
So go ahead and slide it back. We're in the Carlson Room of the Pioneer Museum. We're going to take a look at a few unique items. This one right here is called an iron lung. It was used back in the 50s prior to the polio vaccine. People that had polio actually would go in this machine. You want to pull that out, Jim?
Absolutely.
They would fit in here. Their head would come up that end. These are openings, and to be honest, I'm not totally sure what they're all used for, but it would kind of be intuitive that it's probably for them to reach out and grab things, food or something to drink, and perhaps for putting something in there, medication or who knows what. The controls are down here, and they might be in this machine for, who knows, kind of indefinitely, depending upon how their disease progressed.
Wow.
So what do you think, Jim? Is that someplace anybody with claustrophobia would want to feel very comfortable being?
No, I can't imagine that they would want to be in there for very long at all.
No, that doesn't sound or look good at all. Fortunately, the polio vaccine has taken care of the fact that we don't need to use any of these items any longer.
Sure.
What can you tell us about that over there, Jim? That looks like kind of a unique piece. I don't think we see it around any longer.
Yeah, no, this is a steam whistle, and this was used at the power plant, I think the one up by George Lake.
I think that was where it's at, yeah.
Yeah, and this would blow throughout the day, and in communities like Fairmont, these smaller communities, we would rely on whistles or bells to kind of regulate your time. So you can see here, it'd blow at 7 o'clock for the beginning of the workday. It'd blow at noon and 1 o'clock to signal your lunch hour. 6 o'clock, which is the end of the workday. And then, believe it or not, they had a curfew at 10 o'clock. So when this whistle rang at 10 o'clock, you better be home, Lenny.
Well, I can see from that we're going to have to start our workday a little sooner here at the museum. Instead of 8:30, 7 a.m., we're going to have to work right until 6.
Yeah. I'm not going to get to sleep in as much as I get to now.
We're still in the Carlson Room in the Pioneer Museum. A really interesting piece I'd like to show you from KSUM is the original transmitter. This came into the museum in 3 pieces. Most of the internal components were removed, but still very heavy. 1, 2, 3, 3 different sections. They were brought in, rolled in by about 15 people, pulling them on rugs. The transmitter was from the inception of KSUM back in 1948. It probably transmitted throughout southern Minnesota. I'm not sure of the exact how far it went. Things have changed quite a bit. Transmitters now would be much smaller than this. You can just imagine how technology has made quite a change. These are all the gauges, and to be honest, I'd like to tell you what each one of them means, but I don't really have any idea of what they mean. More gauges over here, dials, there's on and off switches. It's just really a unique and interesting piece. But it's just amazing how technology has changed over the years from something this large to now the size of transmitters.
Say, Lenny, I really need some fashion advice for the upcoming season here. What do you think suits me better? The black or the pink?
You know, this reminds me of a radio personality who used to be on KSUM.
Would that be Annabelle Webb?
That's who it is, Annabelle Webb.
Yeah.
I like the pink. I think that goes well with you.
Well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Why don't you grab that picture of Annabelle, now that you mention it. Annabelle Webb was a very well-known radio personality on KSUM. She would broadcast from her home. She interviewed local people. She interviewed well-known people like Liberace, for instance, plus many other well-known individuals, whether they be politicians or people in show business. Just a really unique and very well liked individual in the local area.
You can kind of see here where I got my inspiration. Wasn't she known for these hats around town?
She certainly was, and we have a hat collection up in the, which room is that in again?
That would be the hunt room.
The hunt room,
Yeah.
okay. So if you get a chance, stop up at the hunt room and take a look at, she's probably got 10 to 15 hats up there, don't you?
Yeah, well, speaking of which, I'm gonna go try a few more of those on.
Sounds like a winner. Okay, we have another radio personality that was on KSUM I'd like to tell you about. Before I do, take a look at all these very interesting and unique older radios. Get a chance to stop into the museum. I think you'll find them very interesting. The other individual I'd like to tell you a little bit about, if I don't knock this cup off, is a person named Carlson. As you can tell, he was on KSUM as well. He was an individual that had a secondhand store. He was an auctioneer, and he had a regular show on KSUM where he would give the news, information on the farm markets, and all those kinds of things. A very, very unique individual, well known throughout the county. And that's not all. We've got more that we're going to see in this room. We're still in the Carlson Room, and in the Carlson Room we have a lot of the larger items, motorized vehicles and horse-drawn vehicles. This one in particular is a really well taken care of unique piece. It's a Model T, 1914 Model T Ford. It was started, you'd have to crank it, and the engine is still, we're able to see. You want to lift that up, Jim? Really a unique and well put together piece.
Yeah, it's in a great shape, great condition. You can see a lot of the original pieces, the lantern style lighting. We got the wooden spoke wheels down here. It only opened from the passenger side, so gentlemen, help your best gal out there. And you also had the soft top convertible roof here. Just a really awesome piece. Say, Lenny, think I could take this out for a spin sometime?
Not a chance, Jim. No, we don't want to wreck it. We want to make sure.
Well, I never get to play with the cool stuff.
Oh, well. Again, a beautiful piece, a Model T Ford. Speaking of Ford, the fourth oldest Ford dealership in the nation is Fairmont Ford. And here's a display of Fairmont Ford. It tells a little bit about the history of the company. It shows some pictures. It's got a book about the Ford line. It's really a unique and interesting display. Got some history in the back. Fairmont Ford was started by John Grill back in 1909. He came from Sherburne. He moved to Fairmont. And 1914 opened up a dealership at the corner of Park Street and 3rd. They had a big fire there back in the 1950s, over $200,000 in damage. They rebuilt, and they're still going strong. And Jim, what do you think about the Carlson Room?
Well, I think there's too much to cover. There's just a ton to see here. It's really an awesome room. Big items, small items. It's just packed to the gills. So I think everybody should come and check it out.
Absolutely right. There's a lot of things to see here at the Carlson Room.